What's up, you guys? I'm back again today with another album review. I might even do a movie review today. I'm not entirely sure, but I definitely will be doing a second album review, as I am doing right now. It's a classic band that you've probably heard of, unless you're, nowhere near oriented in the underground or mainstream punk scene. I mean, even if you listen to Black Veil Brides, you have to at least have heard of the Sex Pistols. I mean, come on. Whoa. But they only released one album, even though the record company that they were signed with has released more than one album. They've released like 2 or 3 live albums, but this album alone will be the only album that they've ever had. The only album that they've released as a band, as a whole, on their I'm pretty sure the other albums have been on their consent, but I mean, this is the only one that they've made in the studio album. It's called Nevermind The Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. Now, the title doesn't really sound offensive, but the Sex Pistols' main goal was to be offensive. These guys came from Britain in the late 1960s, early 1970s, and then got really big when they signed a record deal, and then released this album in 1977. This album alone is responsible for some of the most influential punk bands of all time. Green Day, Sum 41, Black Flag. Those guys are some of the greatest punk bands ever. This album alone influenced them, along with other artists like the Ramones and whatnot. Now, this is a classic album, so let's take a look. The CD itself is very plain looking, as you can see. Now, the lyric booklet isn't even really like a lyric booklet. It's just the cover, the back cover, and then it's a trifold. You see it has a list of songs, cliff notes, just their Sex Pistols logo, and then, the band with the logo, random circled stuff. Again, as I was saying about the title doesn't sound very offensive, but unless you live in the UK area, bollocks is not an offensive word in America. Bollocks basically means balls, penis, anything. Basically, they're saying, never mind the dicks, here's the Sex Pistols, So, that's what bollocks means. You just learned something new today. The more you know. It was released by Warner Brothers Records, so they did it with an American company, I believe. I need to catch up on my research, but here's the back. As I said, the back cover. Songs: Holidays in the Sun, my personal favorite. Bodies, No Feelings, Liar, Problems, God Save the Queen, 17, Anarchy in the UK, which is their most famous song. Submission, Pretty Vacant, another one of their most famous songs. 11, New York, and 12, EMI. These songs were offensive, incredibly, not just because of, one, who they were by, two, what they represented. You gotta remember, these guys were from the UK. So they're being run under a monarchy, not a democracy, not a dictatorship, but a monarchy, which is a queen currently, and a queen then as well. But a monarchy is basically a king and a queen. It's that kind of rulership. Now, Holidays in the Sun talks about just partying wildly, pretty much, um, and how he doesn't want anything, including the British government, to get involved in the middle of his partying. God Save the Queen. It's basically, I mean, as the title suggests, it's about the people in England revolting against the Queen. Anarchy in the UK, I think, was banned on TV and radio, but they eventually let it slide through because I watched a broadcast on YouTube. It was on a British TV station in the 70s where the Sex Pistols played Anarchy in the UK. But that's all I have for today, you guys. More research on the Sex Pistols, go to like Wikipedia. They even have their own website. You should check them out. They're actually pretty amazing. It lets out all your inner anger that you have, like, toward your parents, toward the government, whatnot. But that's all I have for today, so thank you. Signing off.